Hello and welcome everybody to this HMG Tournament race. We got a good one that's coming up with Flipheal versus vZakat. So let's go ahead and get them started, and we'll see how things go. Alright, sorry guys, I'm having a little bit of problems on the restream, but trying to get that sorted out on my end. It looks like we've got, they are going, they're both going for the standard start that where they check the Lake Highlight Island and go off to Saha. Just to give a little background on this match, Flipheal is the number 21 seed, and I believe vZakat is the 12th seed. It's one of only a few matches in this initial round of the tournament where we've gone to a game 3, so this should be exciting. And and since it is a game 3, they are 1-1, and the winner will go on to face Orange, who I believe is watching with some interest in the chat. So far I've seen Moon Pearl on Lake Hylia and a bunch of crystals in the Light World. Alright, I'm still having problems seeing the restream. I'm going to reboot my computer and I'll be back shortly. And I hope you guys enjoy the show in the meantime. Alright, apologies for that, everyone. It's still not working for me, so unfortunately, I think my commentary will be a little bit delayed. I'll try to work the best as I can. But so far, it looks like I did see vZakat go up the mountain for a bit, and then now he's following Flipheal through Kakariko. We did find the Moon Pearl, as I said earlier, on Lake Hylia very early on, and they both got their sword. So they're just gonna work their way through a bunch of these light world checks. Based on what I saw on their previous two games, I believe what we're looking for is for the runner that probably makes the fewest mistakes to have an edge here. I think in both their games they both made several mistakes which caused them to fall behind by multiple minutes. So we want to be on the lookout for that to see if they can kind of avoid those in this third game. Alright, so it looks like we found... I'm catching both items found in desert. It is a crystal, so might as well pick up all the chests here. And they'll come out, and then I'm expecting a play to South Shore for these runners. vZakat kind of going back for this big chest. Not exactly sure why. There should not be an item in here. And no need for any Death Mountain ascents this time. Flipheal has the flute, although I didn't pick up where he got that from. But he's going to use that to go straight to Death Mountain and save the old man. Okay, so Flipheal's gonna set up a clip over here. Looks like he's gonna try to get to either King's Tomb or Graveyard Ledge. He's just gonna clip through that slope, and that takes him right above Graveyard Ledge. He'll come in, pick up a few bombs, and check what's inside this cave. And chat is informing me that Flute was on Sick Kid, which is why vZakat doesn't have that. I believe the bottle was from Sa's closet, wasn't it? And both runners in the middle of Tower of Hera right now, trying to see if there's any keys available. And it looks like not. So the logic does expect us to break into Hera from Mire, and that is one of the quirks of HMG, where we put these underworld one-frame clips into logic. So I think it's interesting for this mode how we only made a small little change from the overworld glitches logic. We only added one additional type of trick into the allowed logical rule set, and it causes quite a different routing and playing experience. I think a lot of the runners have been enjoying a lot of the races. So both runners going through East Death Mountain. A lot of checks over here. Yeah. So unless I've missed it, I believe neither of them has done South Shore yet. They're getting close to Zora Money, so they may choose to do that afterwards, or they have the option to start checking Dark World. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose after this. powder is up here. And that'll be an easy check for Flip. Since he has the flute, he can go straight back to Kakariko. Zakat doing a potion shop DMD, and he gets it. So this is a really nice one. Oh, it's going to use this to get down to Saha as well. So he'll find a bottle there. Question is whether he'll take that to Kak for his flute and for the magic back check anytime soon. Kind of hard to tell, but he might be a little bit high up on the slope. We'll see if he can figure it out and pull off this clip down to Saha's hut. There we go. So Flipheal gaining a little bit of time with that early flute. Flute is still useful in major glitch category races, especially if you can activate it early. If you get it kind of late, then you're only planning to use it once or twice. It might not quite be worth it, but early on you can still save a bunch of time, and Flip is reaping the benefit of that. Okay, and after Flip does these Zora checks, we'll have seen them, the vast majority of the Light World checks, leaving behind the usual suspects of Harrow Castle and Eastern Palace. So I would expect to play into Dark World after this, but the question is, which part of Dark World would you want to start? And sometimes it'll have to do a lot with what are the crystals and pendants. I would say the items that they have right now is not clearly calling to them one direction or the other. Lamp on Zora, that is worth it. And so both Flip and Zakat going to reap the benefit of putting Zora off until they've got the full complement of cash. Question coming up in chat of whether 300 rupees are considered in logic, and the answer is no. The logic does assume that you can farm an infinite amount of money. So as soon as the game starts, technically Zora is in logic for these glitched modes. I did catch that. Zakat filled up a full heart container in Waterfall Ferry. He got forced into the water, but luckily he has the pearl. He can just walk out, gain water walk, go back in and check that second chest on his way to the lamp. So it looks like Flip has decided to go with the very traditional, very standard DMD, starting with Bumper Legend, making his way to probably Skullwoods and Thieves Town. I didn't catch if he did a map check, so we'll have to see. One thing that we'll want to keep in the back of our minds is what kind of Sphere 1 locations either runner has orphaned. I wasn't able to catch the beginning of the race due to the problems I've been having, but I would want to say, I believe we haven't checked King's Tomb, and probably Hobo either. I think that applies to both runners though, so there's no advantage or disadvantage to be gained there. This is generally an early play by Zakat to go into Uncle. Most runners will want to try to wait for the mirror, as Flip does a map check, and I caught all three pendants down at the bottom. Okay, so Zakat found mirror in Harrow Castle, so I guess waiting for mirror was not a good option for this seed. That could prove to be a significant advantage going forward if Flip decides to put Harrow Castle off for a while. And we'll see if Zakat takes that mirror and goes straight to Pyramid with it. And maybe that's why he decided to quit out of Uncle instead of continuing on to the front of Harrow Castle. Alright, Zakat has set up his portal. He has already done Bumper Ledge yet, so he's not able to chain that into like a Hulan drop, which is one of the advantages of checking King's Tomb first. But I know a lot of people like just getting a bomb refill in Graveyard Ledge. He's gonna go back to this portal that he's screen wrapped all the way into the Harrow Castle courtyard, in order to let him go straight into the pyramid without without getting the big red bomb. Alright, Flipheal's gonna dive into Thieves Town here. While we see if Zakat can pick up any more advantage out of this early Harrow Castle dip. Shovel could lead to something, I guess? The Light World has been kind of relatively stingy for this seed. We're still looking for a lot of items to even consider being close to completing the seed. vZakat finding the hammer in Zelda's cell. So this is a big play, especially with Mirror in the next to Uncle. There's might not be much incentive for Flip to go and check this area until he's kind of run out of other things to do. And so far the Dark World turning up kind of empty for Flip. We'll see if he finds anything else as he continues, I assume, on his way to Hype Cave after Thieves Town. vZakat showing us another way of starting kind of a Dark World tour by doing a super jump off of Death Mountain. Takes him from the top of the map all the way down to the bottom of the map, close to Swamp Palace. He'll enter Swamp Palace to fix the camera, come back out, and then be able to start doing Dark World stuff, like Hype Cave. Did not look like much of a Hype Cave to me. I did not catch whether there was another item left in Thieves Town or not. It felt like Flip found a bunch of items, but not entirely sure. So Flip has got the first crystal out of looks like a kind of useless dungeon with no progression in it. vZakat taking advantage of the mirror he found in order to do that shovel spot along with his Dark World tour. Shovel was also in Hyrule Castle, but has led to nothing today. Kinda hard to tell, but it looked like Ether is our Myra medallion today, although it is a pendant. So Flipheal is reaching the end of his Dark World tour, it looks like. And in some ways it's a good thing that he hasn't really found any progression, because it means that his remaining options are not that appealing. I mean, he could try to do a pod dip or something like that, or like struggling to kind of come up with some other nice options. But at this point, Hyrule Castle is starting to look like something that you just might do because it has a bunch of items left there. It's kind of a bunch of back and forth for Flip, going from Dig Game all the way to Hype Cave and then coming back to Mire area. Maybe he was hoping to find a medallion in Hype Cave in order to gain entrance. Or it could also be the thing that I was talking about earlier, where after zero progression in Hype Cave, there's just nothing else to do, and he decides, well, I'm kind of close to my area, so I need to check it out, otherwise I'll never get back to it. Alright, so Flip's gonna start checking some of these easy to get to checks. This one would be King's Tomb. It looked like he landed on that rock in the correct manner, but then just slightly messed up the sequence of inputs, so he's gonna have to come back and try again. Yep, and this time he's landed slightly off. Looks like he's gonna give up and go somewhere else. So these are the kinds of mistakes that we want to keep in the back of our mind. You know, Flip's kind of had a little trouble with that. I know vZakat had messed up a clip in that area one time too, I believe. But this is good for Flip. He will find his mirror and I'm assuming his hammer. Alright, so as the runners kind of retrace each other's steps, vZakat's gonna finish up this Dark World tour probably with Skullwoods and Bumper Ledge, and Flip is gonna finish up Hyrule Castle. We'll see if he does Pyramid as well. But looking forward, it seems like the obvious play at this point would be to take that hammer and go to the left side of GT, assuming they're comfortable with the bomb jump. That could give them a lot of hints as to where the hookshot could be. Apart from that, I suppose Pod might be a potential play, even though they're bowless. But there could be a bunch of items in there, and you might also be able to deduce where the bow is if you're able to break into the right side. And I kind of missed it, but it looks like a pretty costly death on vZakat's side. I know I saw him being low on health when he was trying to traverse the conveyor room, and it looks like he's gonna have to go through the dungeon again. So we can chalk it up to one major mistake on vZakat's side. I think that everything else we've seen so far has been on the minor side. Alright, so Flip is going to go ahead and check that pyramid as well. Since he has the hammer, he may also decide to take it all the way to hammer pegs, which is something that I don't remember vZakat doing. Alright, looks like Flipheal's portal is a little bit on the high side. He got bonked out. But he does get in the second time. Alright. And already on Mirror Shield. So vZakat finally getting his first crystal to tie it up at 1 apiece. Guess another option I should have mentioned was that they might have gone or Flip might have gone from pyramid to catfish. In their previous races, both these runners seem to like that path. Both pyramid to catfish and catfish to pyramid. But I think the presence of the hammer is going to lead him to, has made him decide to go in this other direction in order to check hammer pegs. And Flip showing us a clip to get to the Batcave. He has the hammer. This is not necessary, but a lot of times when you play Major Glitches Seed, you kind of forget about the vanilla ways, and because you're just thinking glitch, 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 and you kind of fall into this muscle memory. Oh, I did just catch that it was the bow on Magic Bat. So that can give us an incentive to kind of delay GT for a little bit and maybe do a pod and Eastern combo. I think that looks like a good idea. Which actually reminds me that vZakat had the mirror and went through Village of Outcasts, but neglected to check both Magic Bat for the bow and Sick Kid for the flute. So, an interesting turn of events. I don't know if it was just an oversight on his part, or maybe he's just going back to do them now. It does look like he's going back. Okay, so he wants to try to do the bat clip here in the dark world. So I think he wants to mirror first. This is going to be tough to find his way. Yeah, this is the front of Batcave, which corrects his camera. Okay, and then he can just use his hammer. That's fine. A little bit unnecessary, but okay. Oh, that's right. He just wanted to put his portal there in order to be able to open up hammer pegs from this direction. So this will put Zakat still in close range of Flip. And probably the main difference being that death in Thieves' Town. I do believe Zakat got the lamp from Zora, right? And I think I was so busy watching what Zakat's next play was that I totally missed how Flip broke into Pod. I'm assuming he did Kiki Skip, which is a nice trick, or well, a required trick often in HMG seeds that allow us to get into Pod from the Spectacle Rock exit. And Zakat's going to do the same thing here. So both really close to each other. Is turning out to be a good race. And you can see Zakat is going to go open this door over here because he currently has, according to the game's internal state, he had 255 keys. So might as well spend one of them to open that door. And then reload the dungeon and enter actual Pod proper instead of the game thinking that Pod is a giant cave. So our first real find in Pod looks like Ether in the Dark Maze. And we do need that in order to get into Mire. And Mire is logically required in order to break into Hera by doing a clip from the Mire torch room into Hera. And that'll allow us to unlock the doors in Hera. Because there were no keys at the bottom of Hera, only 2 items. Alright, so at this point, I think it's a good idea to look ahead at what could be next. Obviously, they're gonna do Eastern afterwards, but the progression that we're looking for seems to be all the turtle rock items. I need Samaria, Fire Rod, Ice Rod. We are still looking for another sword if it comes to that, and they will need a hook shot, probably for the top of GT. Unless they want to get around that gap creatively. Down goes Helmasaur on Flip's side, and that's his second crystal. So after Eastern, if he doesn't decide to go into GT, I guess his main other option is to take that medallion to Mire and finish up Hera, and also maybe kind of see what's inside the front of Swamp. I'm sure they would prefer to find hookshot somewhere first and get to the top of Hera that way as a sequence break by Hera potting. So having gone through Hyrule Castle and now going through Eastern, that kind of completes our Sphere 1 locations, with the exception, if I'm not mistaken, of both King's Tomb and Hobo, which I don't think either runner has checked. And given the number of useful items that are still outstanding, I would not be surprised to find at least one of them in one of those two locations. Alright. Flip just about to get his third crystal here out of another dungeon that I believe is useless. Having a little trouble with that fight. But I want to say, I mean, Flip is now an entire dungeon ahead. I want to say that he seems like he pulled ahead a little bit. Maybe he's just had a little bit cleaner execution through these two dungeons. Oh, is this why? Because he decided to skip the big key chest? Now it needs to go back in because there's an item there. Now, I do believe Flip is comfortable with Moldorm bounce, so it may be that he's hoping for hookshot in a really awkward location as a way for him to kind of seal up the seed. I'm not too sure what vZakat's experience is in terms of either Moldorm bounce or hovering. And it looks like Flip is gonna do... I'm assuming this is the obvious play of taking that hammer to GT, since there's no other dungeons he can really full clear. On the other hand, maybe Flip wants to find that hook shot, so he doesn't need to fail spin speed 5 times in a row. Alright, Flip is heading elsewhere. He's going off to Turtle Rock area, looks like. Maybe this is just a check for Super Bunny and Catfish to avoid orphaning them. Instead of Catfish, he has the option of going into the middle of Turtle Rock as well. And there could be something there. Alright, Flip's gonna drop down first. He wants to get into the back of Hookshot Cave without the gloves. Sometimes it's a tricky setup, so we'll see if he gets it. Looks good to me. I was curious to see if Flip maybe has been practicing his hover, because coming here for just the 3 to 4 checks seems a little ambitious. He's going to take the opportunity here to open the front of Turtle Rock, something that we do not see often in major glitch seeds. I'm not even sure what is the point of this. I mean, we have mirror and hammer, so I don't think there's a reason why you would need to open this, unless you happen to like lock yourself out of keys somehow in Turtle Rock. He is opting to check Catfish over the middle of Turtle Rock, which I think is a good choice. Catfish is very orphaned if you don't do it at this point. But it looks like it was the right choice. Finding the fire rod, which is definitely something that we want to see. vZakat is heading has the same thought process, looks like, heading over to that same area. And let's hope that he also makes the same decision of going down to Catfish after these checks to also pick up Fire Rod. So for a second, I thought Flip was going to Ice Palace, which is nonsense because it doesn't have a glove. But looks like he's just picking up a couple extra bomb upgrades that I think that strongly suggests he's planning to make a trip up to the top of GT, assuming he finds the big key on the left side of the tower. vZakat also getting this clip into the back of Hookshot Cave. That's really critical because if he soft-locked himself there, he might have orphaned Fire Rod for a long time. Of course, he still needs to make that decision to go to Catfish after Hookshot Cave. Alright, so it looks like hovering is on the table for vZakat, so if he's pretty good at it, he might not be as behind if Hookshot is in a bad location. Let's see if he can actually be consistent at it, though. Uh-oh. Looks like he gave it a go, didn't quite work out, so probably I would say would be hesitant to stake his game on a hover of Moldorm 2. And a nice bomb jump set up by Flipheal to continue checking this DM room in GT. vZakat picking a different route now. Looks like it's going back to Dark Death Mountain. Possibly for... looks like he's gonna go into the back of Turtle Rock and try to find stuff in there. With a nice little mirror wrap that takes him right above that back entrance, drops down, and he gets in. Does find the hook shot, which is needed. I'm sure he's very relieved to find that. And also a second sword. Wow, what a play of this. Those checks are all out of logic without the Cane of Samaria. And now vZakat is also going to join Flip in GT. And with that hookshot in hand, I'm sure he feels a lot happier about his decision. we have some interesting logic puzzles here. Hookshot being Samaria locked means that almost all of GT is blocked behind Samaria as well. On the other hand, I don't think we've found anything really that exciting in GT. And we will not get to see Moldorm bounce right now anyways. Looks like the GT Big Key is locked behind Samaria. Or, no, well, Zakat just got it from the firebar room. Is it possible? So I didn't catch the full route. But is it possible that Flipheal skipped that room because he was afraid of running out of keys? Okay, our tracker is confirming that they both have the big key. It seems weird that Flipheal would go through all that trouble of picking up a couple of bomb upgrades and then decide not to do the climb. Flipheal deciding to do a more traditional route in some sense to King's Tomb. But I think this highlights something that can happen very easily in glitch seeds, where you can put off checks that are really easy to get to, like King's Tomb and like Hobo, and you might convince yourself that they're really fast to get to. You know, I can go back whenever. But then it just ends up that you never do get back to them. Luckily for today, King's Tomb doesn't have anything, but there's still that possibility with Hobo. Flip is understandably going to take that fire rod over to Skull Woods. And I'm going to assume that Zakat is going to show us the top of GT once he's done with this quick Ice Arrow skill. Alright, so to recap here, there's our two runners are starting to have a little bit of divergence here. Zakat climbing up the top of GT, Flipheal getting his 4th crystal here at Skullwoods. And the main difference right now is Zakat has made the out of logic play to go to back of TR, where the hook shot and Master Sword were waiting for him. I think the main thing that they have now is to take that Mire Medallion and start checking that combined dungeon of Mire, Hera, and Swamp using the clips that are allowed in HMG. Alright, Zakat making his way through the gauntlet. Had some bad rooms, had some good rooms. Half magic always helps. And we will wait to see what's at the top of the tower over here. And as expected, looks like Flip taking this long trek from Skullwoods all the way down to the bottom of the map. Gonna open up Misery Mire and see what's inside. Never mind, let's finish up Desert Palace first. Alright, we found some magic mushrooms here at the top of Ganon's tower. Alright, magic mushrooms and the silver arrows at the top of GT. So nothing directly yet, although we'll have to wait to see what's behind that magic mushroom. I wonder if Zakat is thinking that he needs to press his advantage of finding this hookshot. He might be banking on the fact that Flipheal will take a long time to get to the hookshot, and he might want to prioritize all the hookshot locked locations at this point. We'll have to see what his thinking is. So caught clipping out of the GT tower, saving a little bit of time by not having to wait for that bat cutscene. Very nice. Chat is bringing up the fact that Zakat did skip the mini Helmasaur key. I'm trying to figure out if that is an issue or not, based on the amount of GT that's remaining. But in the meantime, Flip has found the first pair of gloves in Misery Mire. So that opens up possible stuff in Ice Palace. He can do Checkerboard Cave if he comes out of Mire. Yeah, it does seem that that mini Helmasaur key is not an issue. If he had picked it up, then you could just use it on that useless middle key door. And so I think that tells us that Tower Room does have to have the last key. So Zakat is making use of that hookshot right away to get to the top of Hera. And it'll be interesting to see if he takes he comes back inside and tries to look at the back of Swamp. Would be an interesting... Oh no, he can't. He doesn't have flippers. Never mind. Zakat, I don't think you want to go all the way to the end of this. Okay. Yeah. There's a big block, a heavy block, in the way at the end. It does remain a close match. Flip has got a few more crystal dungeons, but Zakat does have the GT climb finished. Alright, so I do believe Flipheal has found the full complement of Meyer keys. So we are not Kane locked, which makes sense since Kane seems to be blocking so much already. I would really be worried that Kane has just been sitting on Hobo this entire time. Alright, Flip is going to go ahead and kill Moldorm while in Meyer state. Don't think he wants to grab that pendant because then he won't have a way back up here since he hasn't unlocked the doors. Alright, so he's gonna drop down before getting the dungeon prize. So that is technically 6 dungeons for Zakat. So I think Flipheal wanted to hit that star tile before dropping down. That's a faster way to unlock the big key door. Alright, so Flip has opened the big key door. I wonder... I mean, he did drop to the first floor. I mean, I think I would have taken the opportunity to also unlock the door at least the basement. I don't believe he did that. But he's gonna go ahead and unlock the rest of Swamp. I wonder if he will take a look at these couple chests at the front of Swamp. So far I've only seen a piece of heart, while Zakat is finishing up on these easy, these quick dungeons. Just knock off a couple more crystals, and that other chest in the front of Swamp was just 50 rupees. So nothing in Swamp. Flipheal wants to hope that there is something behind the gloves. Yeah, it looks like nothing. Flip is going to go ahead and press his glove advantage by checking the back of escape. And the cane is back here, along with the small key. Very interesting. So that's a big fine for Flip, but what does he want to do with that cane? I guess first he finally wants to get around to Hobo. If he finds something here, like Ice Rod, or maybe Flippers, he might feel really bad. And so if we take stock again, it looks like we are down to basically an Ice Rod hunt at this point. Flip still needs a sword. He could use that hook shot that's at the back of TR, but I do believe he's okay at Molder Bounce, although now I'm not so sure since he declined that opportunity to climb GT. And it could also be the case that, you know, if you're only like 70% sure of your ability to pull it off, maybe you don't want to put your tournament life on the line by failing it. So this will be another climb up era for Flipheal, whereas Zakat just got to quickly Parapot. This is going to eat up a bunch of time for Flip. And Zakat has made it over to Meyer. We'll get the gloves as well. So not that far behind Flip, although depending on how Zakat decides to route Meyer, maybe it'll take a while. It certainly took Flip a while to get the items out of Meyer and go from Meyer all the way to Swamp. I really would have liked to see in Flip's route for him to have unlocked, upon breaking into Hera from Meyer, to maybe unlock the doors and then fight Moldorm and pick up the green pendant. And then afterwards, then you could climb up Hera, grab the items normally, and bank on getting the small key by going through Hera, and then you could use that small key to unlock Swamp. So by our understanding, Tile Room needs to be a key. based on the fact that vZakat has 0 GT keys, but I don't understand why Flipheal has 2 small keys. Very confusing. Unless he really did skip the firebar room. Oh, that's right. Chat reminding me that Flip has not done the upstairs. So that makes perfect sense then. Alright, nothing on right side GT behind that cane, so Flip is going to do the climb without hookshot. And it looks like we may be able to see a Moldorm bounce. So another scenario that I had forgotten about is that Flip may have wanted to put off Moldorm bounce for a while, because if there is something in that post Moldorm chest, then he would essentially be losing the game outright. In this case, it's okay. I do believe that it was only a full heart container back there. Zakat's going to turn in that mushroom that he found at the top of GT. Looks like just found the items in Mire and then decided to nope out. So seems like Zakat is in the lead right now, having finished the GT climb, and he's even gonna do this hobo check at the 80-minute mark. I'm not sure what there is that's enticing the runners at this point. I guess if Zakat can get that cane, maybe he'll think about going back to TR. Otherwise, I think right now the most obvious play would be to do Ice Palace. He's gonna go get his cane first, looks like. So this ice rod does appear to be well hidden, and it could very well come down to just who did a bunch of checks more efficiently, and didn't have to make several trips to one location, doing checks over and over again. This looks like a Turtle Rock clay to me, trying to find Ice Rod, which is interesting. And he already found a couple items in Laser Bridge. And if you like what you see, please give these runners a follow. They put in a lot of hard work in order to be able to complete these seeds. And they're a lot of fun to watch as we see Flipheal trying to get off this Moldarm bounce. It looks like a good position to me, as long as Moldarm doesn't run away. He got it first try. Did not even need to buy those extra bombs. I mean, no matter what else happens in this seed, I think that's a win. Alright, Flip has finished GT, and it is a race to the Ice Rod. Flipheal has the front of Swamp done, and Swamp is unlocked in case it comes to that. Whereas vZakat has done most of Turtle Rock. Alright, so where does Flip go next? This will be important. He is starting up at the mountain. And it seems like vZakat has found all the items here in Total Rock. I think he still needs the big key though. Flip needs to stop facing a wall while trying to spin speed because that doesn't work. He'll just end up grabbing the wall. Alright, vZakat can get out the front here and take that big key to check the big chest if there's still an item, although I don't think there's another item in Turtle Rock. And he can also check out Mimic Cave. Flip is deciding to follow vZakat over to Turtle Rock, so he's gonna be a bit behind. This gives the initiative back to vZakat, and it'll be up to vZakat as to what location he's going to end up checking next. And the flippers are over here in Hookshot Cave. I forgot that this was a Hookshot locked location. Once vZakat found the Hookshot. Flipheal. How does Flipheal get back here after finding Hookshot? It'll be tough. So those flippers might lead vZakat to kind of try to full clear Swamp, whereas Flipheal might decide to go to Ice Palace instead of Hookshot Cave. We will have to see. It'd be interesting to find out what vZakat is feeling at this point. On one hand, he found hookshot very early, and he can kind of be confident that he was probably the first to that one. But on the other hand, he kind of put off hookshot cave for a while. So as expected, vZakat is gonna take those flippers and go straight to check out Swamp with it. There are more items in Swamp, although we know from flip side that 2 of them are in the front and are useless. vZakat showing kind of the newest way to do this Hera to Swamp clip. And it gets it off very nice. So Flip does appear to be behind at this point. I think what Flip needs to do is he needs to hope that the answer is in Ice Palace, and that vZakat spends all this time in Swamp Palace finding nothing. This is interesting. vZakat is not even bothering to reload the dungeon. So I think he's just going to go all the way to the end in Hera state. Okay, so that's just gambling that the Ice Rod is not on pedestal then. That could be a sign that he just feels behind at this point and just needs to get these checks out of the way as soon as possible. Here we have Mitz, which opens up a couple more locations, so that might lead vZakat to go check out Smith Chain before going into Ice. Alright, Flip is mirroring out, and looks like he may just climb back up the mountain in order to get to Hookshot Cave. Or... but he does not have the mitts. He does have to go up to the top and clip onto the top of the rock in order to hammer the pegs. So that will give Flip his flippers, but if he takes those flippers and follows vZakat, he will still be behind. Yeah, we are rapidly running out of locations to check. Swamp Small Key on the left side of Swamp today. I mean, I do believe they have checked every single location, except for Swamp Palace, Smith Chain, and Ice Palace. No, well, I guess we haven't seen Spike Cave yet, have we? And Flip is headed over there right now. vZakat did find the big key of Swamp in that flooded room. Successfully navigates that that wonky staircase here in the back of Swamp. And Flip seems to be having a moment of indecision, although he does decide to come out Link's house in the end. And we'll have to see. I mean, this route could either be Swamp or Ice Palace. This does start to look like Ice Palace. So Flip is going to set up this flipperless wrap to Ice Palace, which is the wrong direction because vZakat has found the ice rod in the back of Swamp. So I think this more or less pretty much seals the deal here. It was a good race by both runners. Of course, you can never say never. I mean, something catastrophic could happen. vZakat could crash or get another death hole, which happened to him in one of the matches earlier this week. Flip did a nice glitch to get into Ice Palace there, using the flippers. It is one of the newer tricks that has been placed into Logic. I guess maybe there's two swords here in Ice Palace? It's one head down. It's gotta be careful. Two heads down with just a little bit of magic left. Alright, taking out that potion. Good thing he had the red mail. Getting bodied by Trinex could have killed him. Continuing to get bodied. But takes him down successfully. And that is all 7 crystals for vZakat, as well as the Aga 2 down. So he just needs to make his way over to the pyramid and fight Ganon with Master Sword. Just gonna pick up a few potions first, I guess, just to stay safe during Ganon. But I'm sure he's feeling the nerves, just expecting that finish from Flip anytime now. Although we know that that's a long way off. Yeah, there were no swords in Ice Palace. Where are the swords then? Like Sahasrara and Argus? Well, I guess they could both be in Smith Chain. Oh yeah, we'll get to see if it's on PED once we see the credits. Maybe we'll see Flip dip out of Swamp as soon as he gets the mitts. Although he's going elsewhere first. And I would hazard a guess to say that Flip is decided that Flippers is dead to him. That he found it so late that he just wants to make the play that Flippers was a bait. And so that was his reasoning for going to Ice Palace first, and then now doing other checks before Swamp Palace. vZakat is on phase 4. Just gotta get a couple more arrows in. And that is the last arrow. So get your GGs in chat, as long as the cat can successfully cross this last bridge. And he has finished with an official race time of 1:44:38. GGs to vZakat. Try to see if we can get him in here for a chat. And here he is. We are joined by vZakat. GGs.
GGs. Thank you. I guess I shouldn't say GGs to you.
You can say GGs to yourself. So how did you feel during that seed?
I felt okay. Everything seemed kind of straightforward. I wanted to do pretty much all the light world checks before going to the dark world, despite getting the Moon Pearl like first item basically. So I was feeling pretty good until near the end, like looking for Samaria and then Ice Rod. So I forgot I didn't have the Ice Rod, So after getting Samaria, I just went straight to TR, like, all right, we're in go mode. But then about halfway through the dungeon, I realized, oh no. So, but I feel like my routing was overall okay. Don't remember anything too horrible.
Well, that's interesting. So where do you think you would have gone elsewhere if you had remembered you didn't have the ice rod?
I would have gone to ice.
Okay.
Like if it wasn't in swamp, I was going straight to ice.
Yeah, well, you didn't have flippers at that point. Right?
At that point, no. So like before getting Samaria, I really considered going into swamp early and doing like the fake clipper thing. But since I didn't have flippers, I was like, ice isn't in logic, swamp's not in logic. So I started doing all those overworld checks and stuff. So I did like Hookshot Cave, which got me the flippers, and like all the gloves checks from getting the glove in Mire. So it's kind of like
Right.
eliminating things because I didn't have items. And then like as I got those items, that was like the first place I was going to check. So it's like, oh, I got flippers, go straight into swamp. Oh, I got mitts, go straight into ice next. So it's kind of like a breadcrumb thing in my mind, at least.
I think that's a good way to handle it, especially near the end of the scene. I think
Yes.
that, so the couple things that I wanted to ask you was first, going into, I think, Hyrule Castle relatively early and finding that mirror. How were you feeling at that point, and why did you decide to go there?
That was part of the wanting to get all my light world checks, where kind of I didn't have that much I could do in the dark world, like aside from TR, which I think I didn't have the hammer at that point because hammer was in Hyrule, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like nothing really seemed that good in the dark world, so I figured let's keep doing light world checks. So I got the mirror from the uncle area and hammer, so that was nice.
Did you feel like you had an advantage at that point, or did you feel like, oh, Flip probably did this as well?
A
Out
little
of
bit.
notice?
I know a lot of people like to go, like wait till they get to mirror to do the Hyrule Castle area. So doing that a little early, I was feeling pretty good.
All right. Yeah, I think the way it turned out, I think Flip kind of, he was a little bit later to it, but not that much. I think he, if my memory is right, he also put off the Dark World in order to do Hyrule Castle first.
Okay.
You know, it looks like Flipheal has decided to forfeit after finding the book on Vidi and trying to chase that item down. So I think at this point he knows that the answer was in Swamp Palace, and he's decided to just go ahead and call it a race. But GG's to Flipheal. We'll see if he wants to join us as well.
GG's. It was a fun match.
It was. All three games seemed like they could go either way.
Yeah.
The other thing that you did early was to go ahead and sequence break the back of Turtle Rock somewhat early. What was the reasoning behind that?
I didn't really have any reason. I just had a feeling something was back there. Because, like, after doing what? Thieves Town and Skullwoods, not really getting any major items, I started getting this feeling that, like, oh, something's going to be in TR. And so I could have done, like, I thought about doing GT and, like, bomb jumping the left side and all that. But that didn't sound too fun. So TR made more sense. And it paid off kind of big. So I was really happy about that. So I get the hook shot, then I could do GT and luckily climb and finish it. So I play a lot by feeling. I'm a kind of person who just, it feels like it's going to be like this seed and just go with it, which probably isn't the best thing, but
I did make the prediction at that point that you would try to follow up on that hook shot, and you know, assuming that you thought you got it super early, you would try to press that advantage and check all the hook shot locations, which you started to do, but then it looked like you put off Hookshot Cave until much later.
yeah, I did. I don't know why, but I often forget about Hookshot Cave. So if I don't do it like early, if there's no early hookshot, then I put it off to like really late.
Oh, got it. All right. Flipheal has joined us. GG's Flipheal.
GG's. That was a seed, huh?
Yeah, it was. So I guess you have eliminated the possibilities of where your go mode was. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, what was it? It was either what, in Swamp or Thieves' Big Chest? Or did I
Yeah.
mess something up?
It did turn out to be in the back of Swamp. Thieves Down Big Chest wasn't really anything. We saw that on Zakat's side. We are still missing that last sword, though. I guess, yeah, it's got to be either on Argus or the Smith chain. Mitz was also on Swamp. So, but we were really excited to see you pull off that Moldarm bounce on the first try.
Yeah, that was actually pretty exciting. That's about the only thing I guess that went well for me this seed, so we'll take it.
What was the reason that you decided not to go ahead and climb GT the first time that you went in, or right after buying the couple of bomb upgrades?
Well, pretty much I was 2 items from go mode, so I was like, I was gonna do it, but then I was like, you know what? I probably shouldn't be that reckless just yet. And then once I got the 1 item from go mode, then it was like it made a little bit more sense. I was really hoping the hook shot was gonna be useless this seed, and you know, it was just unfortunate. I didn't do Magic Bat until late, so I didn't get my, logical first glove until late. And then yeah, so I was late to everything else, and then I dipped GT instead of TR, and then when I got the hook shot into flippers, I was just like, well, if it's this, I'm done anyway. So
I see. So you decided that the flippers was just. I mean, if it was there, then you couldn't do anything about it. So you decided to check everything else instead.
yeah.
Understandable. Yeah.
So how was Zakat's seed? How did that go?
I mean, I think you both checked like almost all of the world. There was really not that much remaining for either of you. It just came down to that last decision of whether to look in Turtle Rock for the ice rod, and then whether to go into Swamp or Ice Palace at the very end there. So Zakat, that moves you on to the next round. It looks like your opponent is Orange, I believe, who is the 6th seed. How are you feeling about that?
A little nervous, but I still feel confident in what I can do, at least. I gotta make sure I'm on top of my game, at least, though.
Oh yeah, that reminds me, we did see that unfortunate death in Thieves Town on your side.
Oh, that was horrible. that jelly, or the Bari, just kind of moved in an awkward place where I didn't kill it with my dash twice in a row and knocked me off, and I was feeling pretty good because I was like, I have red mail, I don't have to worry too much. And then that happened.
Yeah, I missed it on my side. I knew that it seemed like you had enough health, like 3 or 4 hearts, and then I saw you fall into the pit one time, and then I was like, it'll be fine, no problem. And I started looking up Flipheal's side. I think I missed the death.
Yeah, it was just a unfortunate mishap. Sometimes, it happens. Gotta pay attention more, I guess. Be more cautious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to round 2. I'm definitely gonna bring it my all.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of really exciting matches in round 2, I think. And on your side, Flip, how did you feel about the tournament as a whole?
It was pretty fun. I originally, I originally joined. I know they were like, they were struggling to get a full bracket going, and then there was actually some last minute people. So I'm just glad, it was a lot of people, and like I said, it was fun. I learned a lot. I wish I would have maybe spent a little bit more time to flesh out the nuances of the mode, but it was fun. So can't complain.
Yep, we can't ask for anything more than that. Just hoping all the participants are having fun, as well as the viewers, and just exposing this this mode a little bit more.
I definitely hope more people get into overworld glitches and hybrid major glitches and maybe even no logic, because I love glitching. It's just fun. It brings so much more flavor to the game, so I hope more people get into it.
That reminds me, you were a participant in the Overworld Glitch Mentor Tournament earlier this year? Is that right?
Yes, I was. That's actually how I got into overworld glitches. Before, I had only done like NMG, Rando, and so with the mentor thing, I was able to learn a lot. So I wouldn't be a glitched runner if it wasn't for that tournament. Of course, I lost first round that tournament, but it's whatever.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. But yeah, that tournament definitely was good for introducing more people to Overworld Glitch as an introduction, and it's nice to see that people are continuing on to the next step of kind of HMG afterwards. Anything else that you guys wanted to comment on the seed? I mean, for a while we were speculating that it could be another ice rod on PED, which we had earlier today. I don't know if you guys were thinking about that at all.
It started to cross my mind as I started getting more items. It's like, oh, flippers. Okay, now swamp is open. And it's like, oh, mitts. Now ice is in logic. Or I guess flippers puts ice in logic too. But I was starting to sweat there where like, oh, this ice rod could be somewhere really gross. Not to mention, since I cleared out swamp in Meyer State, I would have had to re-go there, and I was really getting worried.
Yeah, I just that first glove, like I knew it was going to be somewhere dumb by the end of that, and I had a feeling it was going to be there. I was just like, that's just, oh man. And then you had to get the glove because you couldn't get the key for Hyrule. It was just that was rude, and that hurt. But it was interesting.
I mean, I believe it could have been possible. You could have taken a key and then opened up the back of a skate without the glove. Like this was none of the crystals required glove.
I considered that because, like, with the mirror, it's easy to go to the back and then mirror back to the front because you're going to get a small key in the back if you steal it and it's not on the left side. It crossed my mind, but man, it would have saved a lot of hunting if I had done that.
Yeah, but I think if you're coming from Meyer, then I mean you're gonna find that glove first, anyways, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I look forward to your future races, both in the tournament and just any random pickup races. We also have the monthly async races that have a variety of different glitch modes that a lot of people enjoy participating in on their own time.
Yeah, just thanks for the comms, restream, tracking, and good luck in your future rounds.
It was fun racing you, Flip, and thank you to all the restreamers, commentary, trackers, everyone putting this tournament together. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully, as a runner, I can put on a good show. So, and I look forward to the next round.
Yeah, and thank you to our tracker, Arborelia, as well as our restreamer and everyone putting on the tournament. I just want to reiterate what our runners have said. And apologies on my side for the technical issues. Hopefully the commentary was still understandable despite the delay. That is it for this race. There are no more HMG races for today, but I believe we could check in on SpeedGaming 4. I believe has a Zelda 1 randomizer race in progress. So if you want more randomizer goodness, go ahead and give that channel a look-see and see what they're up to. Otherwise, from everyone here, this is Purdy Wong, and have a nice night wherever you are.